This podcast is distributed for general informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, accounting, or investment advice. The information, opinions, and views contained herein are our own and may be subject to change at any time without prior notice. All investment strategies and investment involve risk of loss. Any reference in investment, past, or potential performance is not and should not be construed as a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit. Hey guys, we got a few coins we're going to go over today, but first just a quick look at BTC. It's moving kind of exactly what we were talking about. We have rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. This 38, that weekly open close, it's a big one. We're going to watch this trend line here on the short term, or the short time frames, low time frames I should say. If it holds up, great. Moving up above, then we're going to start to want to scale out of some alts. At least that's what I'm going to do personally. If we break this, then I'll be looking at 35.6 down to the 34. Maybe a wick down to 33 if it really just kind of gets one of those crazy wicks that we can get, but I wouldn't be too worried about anything. We're still going to be in alt season. We're still above the overall trend line of this bull flag. So looking really good on BTC. If we look at what did we want to go over here? Oh, crypto mesh. LRC. Loopring, I think, is what it is. LRC USD. No, we're going to go BTC. We don't do no USD. Oh, look at that. Volume's horrid on there. We got a lot to play with here. Let me see if there's a different one. LRC BTC. Let's look at Binance. There we go. That looks much better. Well, we're on the day. Let's go high time frame. Get an overall look here. Bottom. Look at that. Just accumulation like crazy. And if we go, you can see right where we're at. Look at this. That's a ton of rejection. Just a little shot through. Is this the time that we get above it? Could be. It's looking pretty nice. I would not. I personally would be looking to hold on to stuff here. This volume was ridiculous. It wicked all the way up to this same spot. The big deal is when this closes above it. We close above that, and then it's off to the races. So I would look at this here to be a good area to look at if you want to take profits. Would be at that point in time, because most likely we'll get up to there and then bring some just a little pullback to the next area, which would probably be there. Yeah, I like this one. I haven't really looked at it. I think I bought it through Matcha. So if we get above something like that, and then another test into this area, that would be another good buy point if we do get that, and I get a good retest here for the next spring, which, I mean, look at this thing run. It's a big runner. So I'd look at that 32 to 3,500 sat mark for a take profit. It's looking really good down here. We might get a little pullback, but that the 1940, probably you can round it out to 2,000 sats range. We get above it and get a nice close on the weekly. Be looking pretty good. So I like that one. OMG. Oops. Let's check this guy out. OMG, I remember a friend of mine got into this one in this little run back here. He was trading through Coinbase. He made a good amount. But what it did is left us some structure here to kind of play off of, and you can see, I mean, we've kind of risen right to it here. I don't like. I mean, look at this volume. I mean, right there at that point in time too. Let me put the VPVR on that because it's going to be interesting to see that. Oh, where'd you go? Must have fell off there. I'll get it back. Let's do a fixed range, actually. I don't want that one. Let's go. I want to go from when it jumped up the first time to the end there. So what this is going to show us is just this fixed ranged area from when we ripped up, because this is our highest volume anyway, right? So we'll probably see some stopping points in the 1800 sats mark in that area. Obviously, as you get above, there's a nice node right here, but that kind of correlates with all that structure on this side. So that would give me a good, kind of like that right in that area there. I mean, that's a big difference. It's a doubling from here to there. So OMG, I mean, ride this baby out. I mean, this is potentially the overall bottom. A double bottom is what it could potentially be. That'd be a pretty large double bottom play if that did do that. But there's a lot of room to grow on this guy. If you wanted to, 1800 looks like a good first take profit, and then potentially this 36. But again, it's gonna, it could just, this thing ripped through it in a weekly time frame. In 2 weeks, it ripped all the way through those. So this is one to watch, but once you start to see it break down, like here, it's gonna break down as well. So it'd be a good point in time to take profits and then jump back in, especially if we lose, rips through and it comes down into this area and we lose that, drop it, take profits back down, or enter back down in here. This one could be a fun one to play. I might look at it myself, add it to my watch list. Oh, good old Wanchain. Yeah, we're doing boomer coins today. Boomer coins. Yeah, that's what good old Crypto Mesh, he likes the boomer coins. I think I posted this one on the Discord. But if we were to look for certain take profit areas here, again, we're looking for structure, weekly structure. Look at that. I mean, there's a lot of play in that area there. Let me put the magnet on because I want to get this into a certain spot here. Right at that one there. 38.95. And this actually correlates. If you look at this volume here, which correlates to this area here, this is going to be your spot to get through. So once it does get through that, watch out, because that's going to be a big one. So I would draw almost a box along this whole spot here. Good time to accumulate. I like this one. But, nobody's going to trade boomer coins. They're not going anywhere, right? Does anybody even use Wanchain? I don't know. But, I mean, on the lower time frames, this looks pretty dang good for getting into some entries. I mean, it just, a little structure here. You got your higher lows, coming off that bottom. Be a good time to start to play some, start to stagger in some entries as you all the way up to the 3895s. There's so much room to grow. Everybody thinks they're late to get into stuff. Look at this. If these things even get close to all-time highs, I mean, it's ridiculous. So even if you were to dollar cost average up, I know people always think of going down, but dollar cost averaging up, yeah, it's 175%. You may only catch half that percentage growth because you're DCA in. Let's say you even DCA and you're just lower than this one because you just do a little bit more, you had more conviction as it started to get higher with more volume. I mean, just to get back to all-time high, that's some serious growth in these guys. There was a lot of hype behind Wanchain when it came out. I mean, it was like, it was the one that was going to fix everything, I remember. But I need to do some more research in it, see what they're doing. Like a lot of alts, it hasn't ran. This might be a good one to jump on. I might have to do it myself. We'll see. Okay, let's see. This isn't the grandpa of grandpa coins, but Walton Chain. Yeah, you've been a Crypto Mesh. He's been a lover of this guy forever. Jeez Louise, look at this guy. Good Lord. Yeah. So there's a lot to work with here. We're on the weekly. We can go monthly on this bad boy. This guy has a lot of room to work with. I'm going to do the full VVVR on this guy. There it is. There's your line. Look at that. Right off of this bad boy here. Probably because most people were thinking that's got to be it, and it just fell through, fell through. We have decreasing volume. Would look like a little bit of a bull div that's going to be playing out here. Volume's coming down here. This is still going, but at a point in time, this is going to raise up. I personally would watch this level as a turning point for me, and then more in that area there. Watch this level here. If you really like it, DCA into it. You can add a little bit now. Watch this level. Once we break above that, going to be a big key. Obviously, this is the one. And you can see it here. And then I'll take the VPVR off. Look at that. That's your spot. 910. Dollar cost average up again. If you like the project itself, DCA up. I wouldn't even look at taking profits on this thing until you start, unless you're in it down here. If you start in down here, you go up. But I'm not convinced of jumping in there right now. I'll look at the low time frames in a minute. Let me look at a couple more take profit points. I mean, you're going to see that one there. Obviously, a lot of action at this one. Those are probably the ones I would look at the most. It's a lot of growth. This sucker, again, like a lot of these, that's ridiculous. Good Lord. Okay. All right, let's look at the low time real quick just so we can see. This is the daily. It looks a lot like the Wanchain. Getting, higher low, higher low. It's moving up on this lower time frame. Looking at this point in time, you're 175 sats. I mean, that could be just a trade in and of itself right there. 40%. Sell some, hold some, buy back in as it comes down. If we start to see some real structure being made for a bottom, kind of a move up, maybe a bouncing down, continue to put in those higher lows, then up, then you're looking at the same thing kind of coming up this way, right? Up and down, then up through. I don't know. Something like that would be nice, but I feel like we only got a couple weeks left of maybe just the weekend. I mean, BTC is looking fairly strong unless it pulls back a little bit more. I would look at playing some alts. I personally am going to be, if we close above that 38 over the weekend, I'll start to get out of some alts. Not all of them. I'll layer out of them. I'm not going to just sell them all at once because, I mean, BTC is not going to 75K tomorrow. But I'll do another BTC video a little bit later today, but just wanted to get these ones out. So have a good day, guys, and I will see you later.